Earlier this week as well, Trump named Fox News host Pete Hegseth as his defense secretary. Marwan Bishara is Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, joining us from Doha. Marwan, do these appointments give you a sense of the direction foreign policy will take under Trump?
Absolutely. I'm not sure there's another word for direction, but it's like a rocket that is going in a very straight line about where Trump needs to go. Last week, you and I were talking about potential surprises that he could, move this way or the other way because he's unpredictable and so on. This is probably the most predictable thing he could have done in the sense of appointing the kinds of people that his pro-Israel hardliners, evangelical hardliners, all of these sorts of donors and base in the United States that supported him in elections, he's basically rewarding them all now with the most shocking, most pro-Israel, pro-evangelical views that we've seen probably in recent memory.
Let's just look at one of the names, for example. Steve Witkoff, the U.S. Middle East envoy, a real estate businessman, Gulf buddy to Trump, no links to the Middle East or experience per se. Palestinians are worried what this means for them. Is this going to help stop the war in Gaza?
Well, clearly the Middle East envoy is a huge admirer of Prime Minister Netanyahu. In fact, he was sitting in Congress when Netanyahu gave his fourth speeches to both houses of Congress, and he was so excited, and he said everyone was so excited, and he said he couldn't even sit for 5 seconds. He was clapping all the time. So you can imagine if Benjamin Netanyahu is his guru, is his idol, then clearly this does not bode well for neutrality, objectivity, credibility, or whatever the word is for American policy in Israel-Palestine.
And of course, the defense secretary, hugely important position. We now know it's a former Fox News host, Pete Hegseth. What do you know about him and what direction he may take?
Well, this guy is actually the most shocking of all shocking appointments. Yes, the Attorney General will probably be the most controversial in Congress because of where he stood, his past, and so on and so forth. But the guy been tapped, Hegseth, for defense is really extreme of the type, as a student of American policy, I have not read in decades. I mean, we're talking crusaders beyond crusaders. In fact, his book, American Crusade, says that we need to pick up from where we left off in the 11th century. He actually says that. He says, we are now where we were in the 11th century. We're going to have to fight Islam. He says, we are not and cannot surrender to Islam. And he actually says, Islam is not a religion of peace as all our intellectuals and experts tell us in the United States. It's a religion of submission. It's a threat. It's a religion that will go on to threaten Western civilization, and hence America needs to defend itself. And he says it needs to defend itself with the Israel sword and American crusade. It is fantastical language. It's diabolical. I'm not sure diabolical, but it's apocalyptical, I should say, in the sense that he considers that the United States and Western civilization are besieged by Islam and Islamists. In fact, he says that Europe is going basically down the drain because it has been, got 1,000 cultural cut by those Muslim immigrants coming to Europe. It's amazing the kind of language he uses to demonize Islam and Muslims, because even when he says, well, there are a few moderate Muslims, but Islamists, they are the one who are the closest to the core of Islam, and they are danger to us, and we must defeat them. We must defeat them, he says, like we must defeat leftism. And he says, bizarrely, that leftism has one of a manifestation, which is Islamism. I don't know. Go figure.
Marwan, I mean, you're right. This is all very, very shocking what you're saying. But look, I just want to get your final thought on one development, actually. And this is Elon Musk, who there are reports that he met with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations on Monday in New York at a secret location. Not sure if you've seen these reports, but what do you think of them and why? Why would a private citizen be meeting with the Iranian ambassador at this time?
Well, as you know, he's been appointed for efficiency. Now, I guess he has, as a friend and an eager supporter of the president or the president-elect, as you know, he got on the phone even with Zelensky. He's already been dumping on John Bolton because he criticized the former national security advisor. So he's been really taking his time and his leisure to take on whatever he wants to take on, because Trump is not yet president. So he does act as, there is no administration yet. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because, he thinks he's an enabler and he can be a mediator of some sort, at least an unofficial one of sort. But what I can tell you for sure is that Trump is interested, to my mind, just like the Iranian president is interested, in quieting down the wars in the Middle East, notably in Lebanon. And I think Trump would like to get some kind of a unofficial channel to Iran in order to say, look, the way he puts it, we need to take care of the nuclear issue and we need to settle our differences.
Okay, thank you so much, Marwan. Thank you for your analysis.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.